Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Purpose Tuned podcast. The goal of my show is to create valuable content to broaden your knowledge, inspire you to act, and get you in the right mindset so you can apply it in your own life to drive impact, generate meaning, and achieve your purpose. Now, today's guest, I am so excited to have him on the show. I've been following his work for quite some time, and I'm just so grateful to have him here. But before we dive into his work, I want to do a short introduction. A name with a unique meaning and purpose, Billionaire, seeks to inspire billions of people to speak their dreams into existence and develop a wealthy mind. He maintains his title as PA or production assistant to remind people that a job title does not justify your success. So be careful how you treat people. Billionaire PA, founder, CEO, and president of Wealthy Minds, Inc., is a multifaceted corporation that is continuing to evolve and inspiring people all over the world through multiple avenues. So Billionaire PA, thank you so much again for taking some time out of your busy schedule to meet with me. How are you doing?
Living the dream, my brother. I'm excited, man. I'm tapped in, you know what I'm saying? I'm chilling, going through little minor back pains, but I keep it positive. I'm taking my herbs, I'm drinking my water. I'm doing a podcast with you. You know, I tell people all the time, and I have to remind myself, there's only one thing out of three things that exist. The past doesn't exist, so I don't worry about things that happened to me in the past. The future is ahead of me, and I don't get so caught up in my future that I forget to enjoy the only thing that exists, which is the present. So presently, I'm sitting right here on IG Live, and I'm sitting right here in front of you, and I'm joyful, you know what I'm saying? Because I have another day to wake up and use my talents and my gifts to inspire people to speak their dreams into existence.
That's amazing. I love it when you say I'm living my dream, and that is such a great attention grabber for people who are just going about their ways without really having a dream. And so when you say that, it reminds people, oh shoot, I need to figure out what my dream is. I need to figure out what my values are. And so let's step back a little and share about your story. Like, how did you get involved in this work? Like, what inspired you to act?
Well, for me, brother, I'm originally from Alexander City, Alabama. And, you know, I went from selling dope to selling dope products.
Mhm.
Um, and I can remember I went to jail over 20 times before I was 21 years old. And, and I remember
It sounds like your connections is lagging there a bit. Are you?
it was 5 years.
There you go. Sorry. Could you repeat
Oh, it's
the?
lagging?
Yeah, it's fine now. But could you just repeat what you just said about 2-3 cents ago?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I was locked up in jail, and I remember my grandmother saying, "Get on people your body, but don't get on people your mind."
Mm,
And I think that was the planting the seed of birthing a wealthy mind.
mm,
That's when I wanted to turn use my talents and my gifts and get paid for it. That's when I started to realize that people are psychologically and mentally programmed in this society and in this world. And I'm going to always be considered a weird one and an outcast because I no longer think like the average human thinks, which
mhm,
is how the society and the government wants people to think. They
mhm,
don't want you to know your value. They don't want you to know your worth. They want you to always be independent of them.
mhm.
And people wake up every day battling with depression, battling with PTSD, trauma, you know, not realizing that, when you're battling a person who is depressed, they tend to think they have to get the new iPhone, get the new products. And it's all psychological to make people think that they have to get this stuff and they get programmed, never ever realizing that the true value and the true gifts is already within you. You
Mhm.
know, the universe and the God that I believe in gave you an abundant sky. Have you ever been to a city or a state and you couldn't see the sky?
Um, One particular city, yeah.
What
Uh,
city is it?
So I studied abroad in this small city called Meridad in Venezuela, South
So
America.
you can't see the sky, because the sky
Well,
is the sky is all over the world.
yeah, right, yeah. So I mean, of course, there's the clouds and everything which covered it, but it's always
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, the clouds are up in the sky.
like you're
So my
including,
point,
yeah. I'm thinking
yeah,
about it.
my point is, no matter where you go, there's always going to be water. So God gave you an abundance of everything, and that's the way that we should live our life, very abundantly. And that's how I live my life. I don't live my life structured at all.
Mhm.
So when I say speaking into existence, it just means whatever it is that you believe in, know that you can actually manifest that. But so many other people are programmed. And what do I mean when I say program? They wake up on January 1st. You need someone to tell you Happy New Year. Well, I celebrate New Year every day. It's a new day for me every day. I don't need to wait on February 14th to go buy chocolate and tell somebody I love them.
Right,
No, I think that's an insult to do that to someone, to wait on someone to die to buy them flowers, but you wouldn't even call them when they was alive.
right.
So for me, I just look at life different. I celebrate my birthday on the 19th of every single month because I was battling with depression and I was lost and I couldn't wait another year to appreciate me. So I created my own birthday, the 19th of every single month. And that's why we wear the dream buttons and go 1, 2, 3, 4. We tap in every single time, man. Tap into your highest power, tap into your dreams, and speak your dreams into existence. There are so many people in this world, bro, that are dumbed down.
Hmm.
Everybody has a brain, but everybody don't think.
Right. So how do you get people to think? How do you get people to equip themselves with the mindset, the skills that's necessary to achieve their dreams?
Yeah. Rich man, may I have some water? Well, one of the main things, bro, is you have to start with reprogramming people
Hmm.
and deprogramming them from what they've already been taught. Like, think about this, right? Why would you go to school for 4 years only to realize that how can a teacher teach you how can someone teach you how to do something that they've never done themselves? So if my dream is to make $1 million or $1 billion, I don't have to go to school to learn that. So I think if you wanted to be a lawyer, then you go to school for that. If you want to be a doctor, then you go to school for that. But everybody doesn't want to be something that requires you to go to school. So everybody doesn't have to go to school. So so to me, just be honest with you, school is one of the biggest schemes ever, because it's no reason that should invest that much money and those people don't guarantee you no job.
Hmm.
So I invest 4 years of my life and you don't even guarantee me nothing. Like, I gotta pay you to get an understanding. Like, when I was in school, they taught me about pi squared. How have I ever applied that into my life? They taught me about Christopher Columbus. How have I ever applied him finding America to help me pay my rent?
Right.
I don't care. That's someone's ego that they're pushing on me. And that's what programming is. You know what I'm saying? You put a holiday, when you think about business, there's a holiday in every month. Why is there a holiday in every month? See, if you don't have a business mind, you'll never understand. That's tax money that's coming in every month for the government because they know they have a holiday in every month. Let's just go. You can go through each month. You can talk about December the 25th. Jesus wasn't born on that day. That's a 100% known fact. But when you think about it from a business perspective, you want to go out the year with a bang. Wow. We got all these people to go buy these gifts and pay taxes. And then you come in the year with Happy New Year, bang. You start the year with a bang.
Right.
You know, we live in a country that honestly kills more Black people than I've ever seen, but then have the audacity on February 14th to talk about spreading love.
Right.
No, the government should practice spreading love all 365 days because you're doing a terrible job.
Right.
I'm just a person that don't mind saying it. So when you ask me what should a person do to answer your question, the number one thing that a person can do is it's not what I sit and tell you. It's not what other people tell you. What it's all about is what you believe about yourself. I truly believe I believe that I'm a world changer. So it doesn't matter if you sit and say, oh, do you really think it? I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what other people think about me. What matters is how I feel about myself. And a lot of people, they care more about what other people think about them than how they actually feel themselves. And I know, because you got people out here in these streets that have been taught to take everything they got and give it away just to upgrade your ego. Just so they can be on the news and say, oh, I gave to 100,000 people. I donated this. I don't need them accolades.
Mm-hmm.
I do this naturally.
What do you say to people who say you should tone your speaking your dream concept down a little bit, because that's a sense of a lack of awareness, for example, awareness of self-awareness? Like, how do you get resistance from people who say, you know, you're too much, or you're too loud, or you're too out there, you know, you should tone down a little bit, so that way, you know, you don't distract people? Like, what do you say to those types of people who give you that type of respond?
I tell them to send me a link to their website so I can see the type of work that they're doing and the values that they're adding into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And 90% of them don't send shit. So they just talking.
Right. So, I mean, so at one point in my career, I was struggling with that challenge. People telling me to tone my voice down a bit because I'm too outspoken, particularly around diversity inclusion issues, right? Like, I want to make sure that organizations are fostering inclusive environment where everyone of different backgrounds could really be respected. And so there were several individuals within organizations that just don't like that, and so they try to dim your light, so to speak. And so and then up until recently, I think it was Tony Robbins, or it was one of the professional or personal growth gurus, that said, you know, in a world where we're living, we are human beings for sure, but you know, think about it, we're also living in a spiritual world, right? And so in a spiritual world, there's no limitation. And so, like, you're acting and behaving and thinking in ways that are in the spirit world because there's no limitation. And so, because if you were to, you know, put yourself in a limited mindset, then you're going to find ways that are not going to, I think I lost you there for a second there. Oh, there you are. There wouldn't be so what I was saying was that if you put yourself in a limited mindset, then you wouldn't be as you know, out there in your dreams. And so I guess my next question to you is, how do you manage through challenges of limiting mindsets?
How do ask me that question again?
Yeah. So, like, when you find yourself in moments where you feel like I'm not good enough, like, what do you do to manage that type of thinking? Like, how do you get people to inspire themselves to step outside of that limiting mindset and say, I'm more than just this one situation that defines me? Does that make sense? Or let
Yeah, well, for me.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
for me, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
You hear me, right? And so me, I limit that of myself. To anyone who does have those type of moments, I just encourage you to get you change your environment. You know, a police officer hangs with a police officer, a fireman hangs with a fireman, a drug dealer hangs with a drug dealer. This is a known fact, bro. You never in your life seen a police officer riding on a fire truck. And you've never in your life seen a fireman riding in a police car. Police officers hang with police officers, firemen hang with firemen. So what am I saying? If you want to be, if you're depressed, then you need to hang with people who are not depressed. Mm-hmm. If you want to be wealthy, then you need to hang out with people who are wealthy. If you want to be an author, you need to hang out with authors. They can teach you how to write books. So for me, whatever it is that I want to become, like, for example, I changed up my eating habits, and guess what? You know, now I'm working on eating healthy. I'm putting myself in the healthy restaurants. And guess who I'm going to eat in a healthy restaurant if I go to a vegan restaurant? I'm going to eat other people who don't eat meat. And they're gonna have knowledge on things that I'm not knowledgeable about or knowledge on. So last night I went to a high-end restaurant. Why? Because I wanted to be around wealthy people. I wanted to breathe wealth. I wanted to exude wealth. So I immersed myself in that situation. Here's a case in point. Do you think that like the people born in America, right? This is not a trick question. Do you speak English because you were born in America? Or do you speak English because you were raised around people that speak English?
It's the environment in which I grew up in. It's where, well, first of all, English is my second language. So I actually didn't learn how to speak English until I went to elementary school. So to your question, it's your environment, I think.
It's not, and it's, to be honest, it's not even a thought. You speak English because someone around you had to teach you how to do that.
Right.
And a lot of people have been taught to be broke. A lot of people have been taught to stay broken. And a lot of people have been taught not to speak their dreams into existence. So essentially what it is that I'm saying, can I see that? Essentially what I'm saying is, in order for you to be successful at whatever it is that you want to do, all I did was change my environment. All I did was change and got me a mentor. So when you're talking about a person who doesn't understand their mindset, or they think that they're less than, that's because they're in an environment that makes them feel that way. You don't just wake up with that thought.
Right.
Someone had to make you feel that way for you to have that thought. Someone had to teach. Like, if I was born in America, right? And then I went to Mexico day one of being born and never came back here, what do you think I would speak?
Spanish.
Why? But I'm an American baby.
Right. So to your point, it's about the environment in which you grew up.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's great. So of course, environment has a lot to do with your, how one can influence their mindset in ways that can achieve the goals that they want for themselves. As you know, the show is really about purpose and meaning, and knowing you and following you on social media and the work you're doing with your clients, you're definitely a purpose-driven individual. How would you define purpose, and how does it show up in your life?
How would I define the word purpose? Purpose is when you wake up and you open your eyes and you don't need no material items. You don't need no money to wake up and do what you do. I truly enjoy waking up and just adding value into people's lives. And I have now figured out a way to get paid for living my purpose and living my gifts. And a lot of people, they wake up and they are not living their dreams. They're not living their purpose. There's no way that I would want to have this much back pain, the back pain that I have, and not be living my purpose. Because if I wasn't, I'm just being truthful, I'm being dramatic, I'm being transparent. If I was not doing the work that I was doing right now, I would want to die. I don't want to do nothing else, man. I don't want to work on nobody's job. I don't care if I make no more money. I love doing what it is that I'm doing. This is what I like to do.
That's amazing. I love that you found your passion and that you found something you love doing, which majority of Americans do not love their job, love what they're doing, but yet they're also not following their dreams. So it seems like many Americans are really just walking around without having any sort of hope or inspiration. How do you push yourself through difficult times? For example, you mentioned, you have some back pain, but you get some challenges here and there with your business, but how do you push through tough times? What are some of the resources or tools that you tap into?
Mainly, man, it's like the way that I push through tough times is making sure that I have a great team around me and making sure that I got good people around me that are knowledgeable on things that I'm not knowledgeable on, from my assistant to, what I'm saying, some people, I got some great people around me, bro, that know health, exercising, and all types of things, bro. You can't always have people around you that know less than what you know. I just think that's not no level of growth. If you want to be wealthy, you got to understand that the first two letters in wealthy spell we. And so in order to be successful, you have to let go of your ego, create the we go. So wherever you go, I go, we go, so we can speak our dreams into existence together as a team. So I usually am around people that when I'm down, they're up. I cannot always be the person that you depend on to have high energy, you know. And some days I be needing my friends, and I got an amazing mother. I got an amazing team around me, and I'm joyful, bro. I'm living my dreams with amazing, genuine people, and a lot of people don't have genuine people around them. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no yes men or yes girls around me. I got amazing family, amazing friends, and that's what I pride myself on more than having a Lamborghini or a 63 bedroom house or a gold chain. I got people that don't steal from me, that ain't lying to me. That's what I like.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, it seems like the things you've mentioned, the relationships, the meaning in your life, the impact that you want to make in society is what drives you to where you are today. And that's what this show is really about, is to give people, a chance to tap into their, their higher, truest calling, and figure out what is it that they want to do with their life, because life is short. We have only X amount of years, and tomorrow is not a promise either. And so we have to wake up with excitement, with enthusiasm, and chase for what we believe is going to make us happy. And so that's what the show is really about: is to cultivate that sense of purpose and meaning, so that when you're in your deathbed, that the things that are going to be by your side are not your cars or your homes. They don't talk to you. They don't give you meaning. They don't give you the energy, the things you need to hear before you're breathing your last few breaths. So it's the relationships that you're able to cultivate along the way. Um, so I'm quite interested in this question, particularly because you've been through some major challenges. What was that one aha moment that changed your life, that you're like, you know what, I got to wake up and do something about this?
The one aha moment that changed my life
Mhm.
was when I walked in the hospital and my grandmama told me that my 7-year-old sister was brain dead, and she sent her on to heaven to live with God.
Mm.
That was my one aha moment. Everything that I do from this day forward, bro, will be done with purpose. If
Mhm.
I have sex, it's done with purpose. If
Mhm.
I sell 1 million dream buttons, it's done with purpose. Getting on this call with you was done with purpose. And the purpose of this was not to motivate people. I didn't get on here to motivate people,
Mhm.
because motivation without instructions is dangerous. I
Mhm.
got on here to give people a clear vision on how to go about speaking their dreams into existence.
Mhm.
The other day, you know, I broke down the formula of, what you can make a day to make a 6-figure income, because a lot of times people motivate you, but they don't give you no instructions.
Right.
So I did this formula where I said, the average person makes about $30,000 to $35,000 a year in order to be successful. And if you could I'm not in order to be successful. They make about $30,000 to $35,000 a year. That's the average. And people know that they're worth more than that, right? So I said, imagine if you made $63,000 a year, right? Well, $63,000 a year is no more than $272 a day.
Mm.
So for 365 days, you need to make 272 per day in order to get $63,000 a year,
Mm.
right? So $272 divided by 36, which is the cost of my ebook, which is the cost of one of my products, is about 4.74, which rounds up to 5. What does the number 5 means? That means I need to wake up every day and sell 5 people an ebook just so I can stay off of my job.
Mm. That's amazing. I mean, the fact that you're able to be that detailed with the numbers in your living situation, I don't think a lot of people actually care enough to like put into numbers and be that detail oriented. I think they're just living their day. Hopefully, they don't get struck by a bus, or that, they don't lose their job because of COVID. And it's, you're strategic, which is something that entrepreneurs need to be. Is they need to be strategic, and they need to, of course, find a long-term goal that's going to meet the requirement for their current state, current living situation.
Mhm.
So what advice would you give my audience for them to get into this journey of purpose?
What advice would I give to someone? Say that again.
Yeah. So what suggestions or advice would you give to my listeners who are lacking a sense of purpose, and they want to, they want to find joy, happiness, meaning, but they don't know where to start? Like, I think you kind of touched on it a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely
Yeah.
touched on it, but I'll say it again. I mean, whatever you wake up to every single day, bro, and it brings joy to your heart. If you like baking cakes and you just do that for fun, then you need to figure out how you get paid for it.
Mhm.
If you like riding bikes, then you need to figure out how you get paid for that. Me, I like helping people. I like writing quotes. So I take my quotes and I put them on t-shirts. I put them on wristbands. I put them on billboards. I put them on all types of mugs and products and services. And guess what? I sell them. Only realizing that all I got to do is sell 5 products a day for $36, and that'll give me $63,000 a year. I think that's correct. Because I do so many numbers in my head, and I don't have my calculator with me right now. And I really like, so my minimum goal every single day is to make $444 a day. That's my minimum goal. And $444 a day is about $165,000 a year. So that's the minimum amount that I have to have. Like, I will not go to sleep until I make $444 a day, right? So I remember saying the 63,000. My assistant just brought my calculator. Shout out to Richie. 63,000 a year divided by 12. I'm sorry. 63,000. Here we go. Divided by 365. It's $172.60 a day. That's all you have to make per day in order to make 63,000. So excuse me, it's not 200. I got my number wrong. It's 172. That's the number right there. So if you wanted to quit your job, all you need to make is $172 a day. That's not bad. That's how I got to quitting my job, bro. But you got to figure out what's your purpose and what's your mission. Once you figure that out, how much are you going to sell your products for? And then you would take that number and you, like the 172, if your product was $20, you divide that by 20. Okay, you have to sell 9 products a day in order for you to reach your goal of quitting your job. You got to have structure and you got to have organization. The average person on earth, bro, they don't got no structure. They don't got no organization. They just think they're going to get rich. And you're not going to get rich without no structure and organization. The only people who've ever gotten rich without structure and organization is people who were born into wealth and people who hit the lottery.
Right. Because they have everything for them, right? They don't have to work hard in order to get to where they need to be. You bring up a really good point. So what are some of the top success habits that you have that has propelled you forward to be where you are today? Like, what do you?
I'm sorry. You said what are some who?
What's that?
I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, I said, what are the top 3 to 5 success habits that you have to help you propel yourself forward?
Oh my God, that's a good question, bro.
We,
Make sure that you have fun in what it is that you're doing.
mm-hmm.
Every day you go through my Instagram, it's fun, bro. I'm living
Yeah.
my dream. Number two, I make sure that you understand that your greatest wealth is your health. You can make $1 million. You can make $20 million. You can make $40 million. But I guarantee you, it ain't gonna do you no good if your heart isn't beating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
So
powerful.
that's number 2.
Yeah.
You wake up and I take my sea moss. I take my black seed oil. Rich, can I get some black seed oil? I'm not just a talker. I got it sitting right here. Ready for me, because your greatest wealth, I got to keep the brain thinking, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, Richie. Shout out to Richie again. So I'm not just a talker. I got it right here on deck. You know what I'm saying? Black seed oil. So you know what? The next thing that I tell people, number 3, you got people who telling people if I saw some people like, you should stay up and just work all day. No, you shouldn't. You should go to bed and get you some rest. Just because you stay up 24 hours doesn't mean you're going to be successful.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
That's the stupidest thing, that when I hear people tell people that, that's the stupidest thing you could tell a person, to wait, to don't go to sleep. I get what you're saying, but I'm pretty sure Warren Buffett goes to sleep. I'm pretty sure he gets an adamant amount of rest so that he can be productive. The goal is not to be busy. The wealthy people's goal is to be productive. My dream is to find billions of people to keep them busy, to keep them productive, so that I can go sit out on the beach all day if that's what I want to do.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, of course, sleep is such an important element to your productivity. And so I used to be that individual operating 4 or 5 hours of sleep per night. And now it's like, I need energy. And one of them is that I need to sleep more. And so I get your point. That's quite an honest assessment in order to be successful. We're about time, and I don't want to be respectful of your time.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good, brother. I believe in you, man. Ask any questions you want to ask, my brother. I'm on live. If people are on the live enjoying it, if you're enjoying this on the live, please type the number 4 if you're enjoying this on the live.
I would love to type 4. We're actually on Zoom, but yes.
It's all good. It's all good. Yo, so nah, bro, I appreciate you. And I speak, where are you located?
So I'm in San Diego, California at the moment.
Okay.
My understanding is you're in Florida. Is that correct? Okay. And what is it about Florida that draw your attention?
You know, I was living in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up moving because of I didn't like the coronavirus. I didn't like just sitting in the house. So I said, you know what? I'm paying $6,200 a month in rent to sit in the house. It really it put things in perspective and said, like, that's kind of stupid. Let me go to Florida and get a better living with the same sun, better beaches, and a better living situation for half the price.
Right.
The goal in business, bro, like, I'm not one of those people who just, like, I'm the type of person who will make millions of dollars and you won't even see it. I'm not trying to show it to you. Like, how much, like, my friend, he invited me out to eat the other day, and they was like, in order to go to this restaurant, we had to spend a minimum of like $2,000. And there's 4 people, so that's 500 each, which may not be a lot to some people. And I'm telling you, I don't care how much money I make, bro. I've never ate $500 worth of food, no time at no meal. Ever. So for me, I'm always thinking about, you know what I'm saying? Anything that I invest my energy and my time in, how do I get a return on my investment? If I didn't spend my energy and time into you, what's the return that I'm going to get out of this? What are you going to, so my question is, what are you going to do with the podcast? What are you going to do with the audio? If I'm on IG Live, I'm thinking, what's my return on the investment on this? I want to use this to inspire people to speak their dreams into existence. So I get a return off of that.
Right. Yeah, it's a way to connect with your audience, a way to ensure that they're on this journey that you're on, to help them get to where they need to be and really live out their best life. You mentioned a few things that ties into impact, but I wanted to get a more concrete answer from you in terms of impact. What's your impact in this world?
Well, I believe impact, I'm impact over income. And the reason why I'm impact over income is because money is a promissory note that acquires debt. Knowledge is a promissory note that acquires power. Wealthy.
Could you say that one more time?
Money is a promissory note that acquires debt. That means if I give you $100,000, I just put you in debt.
Right.
You got to pay the government taxes. If I gave you some knowledge on how to make the $100,000, you can use that knowledge over and over and over and over again and make way more than the $100,000 that I gave you.
Right.
So what's my impact? My impact is I'm really touching children, teaching them to speak their dreams into existence. We touching the homeless people every single month, blessing them. We going into the streets, me and my assistant, this month we're doing children. Next month we're going to do the homeless, and just blessing them with free food that's healthy. So earlier you asked me about what's one thing that people can do. It's because I noticed one of the things that I notice a lot of people do and they believe in is they believe that they don't like hanging out with negative people. And my friend was like, man, I don't like being around negative people. And I used to say, like, this is one thing that you should do in order to be successful. And now I just believe that that's a hard quote to believe in, because how can you sit and say that you don't believe in you don't believe in hanging around negative people, but you don't think about what you actually put inside of your actual body?
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you've seen a chicken that died happy? You seen a cow get murdered and the cow was happy? So what's my point? How can let's say I was a negative person, right? I'm external you. How can I have more of an effect on your life than the negative chicken that you put inside your life?
Right.
I'm not saying I don't eat chicken. I just have an open mindset to say, let me think about what I put inside of me, because you're putting those emotions inside of your body, which is affecting the way your brain thinks.
Right.
So the reason why I take the black seed oil in the sea moss is so when I'm writing my books, I'm not writing from an emotional standpoint, like, oh my God, I'm getting emotional and I'm about to cry. There's nothing wrong with crying, but I want to write from a logical standpoint that will give people a great example on how to be successful, and not just telling people because I feel like it, quit your fucking job. No, I'm not going to tell you to quit your job. I'm going to give you a structure and a step-by-step process on how to go about quitting your job.
Right. That's amazing.
And that's what I mean when I say I'm not here to motivate anybody. I'm not here to motivate. You want motivation, go to church. Yeah. You want motivation, go to a speech. I don't do motivational speeches no more. I don't want to do that. They got millions of people out there. People nowadays need structure and they need organization. They need to know this right here. You know the 4 main pillars of running a successful business? The average person doesn't. So now I teach and I show. You don't have to be motivated to know this. The 4 main pillars, number 1, is having a general attorney for your business. A general attorney is somebody that you can pick up and you can call. What does that general attorney do? Trademarks and copyrights majority of your company for the protection of your brand. Number 2, an entity person. What is an entity person? A person who you articulate what your business is about, what you are selling, what your products and services are, and they will help you to decide if you need an S Corp, a C Corp, a LLC, a sole proprietorship, a DBA, or a nonprofit organization. Number 3, you need a CPA. What is a CPA / an accountant? They're the people who keep your books in order monthly, not yearly, monthly. So that when it comes time for the year, your taxes are already done. And then you got number 4, a personal banker / credit person. Well, why do you need a personal banker? Because when you get a $35 overdraft fee or some type of fee, you need to be able to call somebody who can take that shit off of your credit or take that off of your thing. And you need the credit person. So anytime you need your credit fixed or you need it to jump up, you have your credit person. Those are the 4 main pillars of running a successful business. Now, guess what? You don't have to be motivated to sit and listen to that to know that.
Right. Yeah.
So my thing is, why is it that McDonald's can sell billions of hamburgers, right? But the person in San Diego who has the healthiest hamburger that will get people to live to be 354 years old, I'm exaggerating, he's struggling. You know why? Because he doesn't have the system that they have. They have a system that works.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you bring up such a good point about, of course, the
personal
whole
banker.
concept of, vibe in how if we're careful in terms of who we hang out with in our environment, then we should also be mindful about the types of food we put into our bodies, because at the end of the day, your health is one of your top priorities, if not the number one top priorities. And so I love that. This is great. I wanted to pick your brain about your books. Could you tell us more about what's in scope for you at the moment, or if you could grab one or a copy?
Got you one right here. Hey man, you got to get this. Is what I want you to do, man. I want you to get the ebook version, and I want you to read this book. I promise you, you'll understand my mindset a lot better, and it will add a lot of value into your life. I've never had one person who read this book that didn't tell me this book changed his life, and I'm not just saying that. You think I'm like, I'll turn to any page and just show you some of the value of what you could get out of this book. Number one, I just opened the book. Tie yourself to greatness before failure chokes you. The inspiration behind this quote came to me while in Phoenix, Arizona, during a speech to hundreds of youth who were in search of their dreams. A motivational speaker and good friend of mine. Sorry about that. Somebody's calling me. A motivational speaker and good friend of mine was teaching the young men how to tie a tie. And the little child, the man tied the tie so tight that it kind of choked the little child. And the little boy was like, oh my God, it's choking me. And I immediately went to my room and wrote, tie yourself to greatness before failure chokes you. Because a lot of people are letting their parents not being in their life choke their dream. They let in negative things that come into their life choke their dreams, and they using it as a crutch and as an excuse. And I don't be using it as no excuse, bro. People talk too much. Everybody tell you about their book. Everybody telling you about the deals that they closing. Now, I don't care, but I don't want to hear all that. Just let me see. So when you ask me what's the next thing that I got coming up, I'm not talking about it. I'm just going to show people when it's coming out. Right. That's how I've always moved, and that's why I am successful. I don't sit and say, oh, my book coming out. No, you want the book right here? I got the ebook right now. If you want to buy this ebook, in the comments, say ebook. If you want to tap in and you want to change your life. So when people say, hey, man, what you got coming up next? I'm not telling you. I'm not telling nobody what I got coming up next, because I'm a shower, not much of a talker. I've written 83 total books, and anybody that knows me know that I'm not playing. You want to tap in? This is my ebook. This is one of the first ebooks that I ever wrote, and I'm talking to IG Live and you as well. So shout out to my brother who over here doing an interview with me. If you want this ebook, I need 36 people in the comments to say ebook. Eric, I got to tell this story right here, right? I got to tell this story right here. My homie, he just got on my live, and this will be in alignment, right? So my homie, he live in Los Angeles, right? His name is Eric. He does real estate. And when I first put this book out, right? I think I put this first book out, it was $163.36. And with the tax and everything, it came up to like $200. Do you know people laughed at me, right? Do you know one of the first people that bought that book from me, the actual physical copy? He is on my live right now. His name is Eric. He pulled up, and you know what? I didn't ship the book to him. I think I got in an Uber. I didn't even have a car, I don't think, at the time. I got in an Uber and I went to Chase Bank over by the Grove in Los Angeles, California. And I met him at Chase Bank and we took a picture with the book. Do you know how meaningful that is to be once homeless and sitting down writing thoughts that people laughed about? And when I came out, I didn't have a publisher. I didn't have a marketing team. I didn't have PR. I immediately jumped out the window and said $200 for a book, and somebody bought my dream.
That's incredible. It seems to be like a sense of belief in yourself when you kind of sense that no one isn't going to buy your product or believe in you, right? Like there has. I mean,
who you know out here putting out Suede books though? This is a Suede book.
That's amazing. Wow. I didn't know that.
This was the first book I ever wrote. I said, I tell people all the time, just because it's your first book, it don't need to look like it is. I came out the door looking like I had wrote 100 books.
I love that. I love that, man. I mean, you definitely know how to tap into this mindset of entrepreneur And you definitely know how to execute, and you do it with such hustle and also grace and determination. And so I'm really proud of you, brother. I'm very happy for your success, very happy for the impact that you've made in people's lives. And where can people find you should they want to connect with you, learn more about your products or services?
Um, People can find me on Instagram at Billionaire P.A. That's where I'm gonna be at today, all day. You know what I'm talking about? If you want to come over, talk wealthy to me. And just remember, man, when you pushing your products or your services, just understand, you got to understand something called psychology and something called marketing.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't understand the psychology of the brain, the way the brain actually functions and the way that the brain thinks. When you can learn to think for other people and create what they like, you will be very successful. So one of the things that I do is I put my story in front of my products. So
Mhm.
it's not my products that's actually selling, it's
Right.
my story. So a lot of times when people buy my products, they're buying it for two reasons. They're buying it for my energy is always on 1,000. And
Mhm.
people like people who have good energy. People love people who tell the truth, who are upfront. I don't just get on. When people say, "Oh, you think my book gonna make you $100,000?" No, it's not, unless you apply the information.
Right.
You know how many people just think like just because you read a book, your life ain't gonna change until you apply what the people taught you.
Right.
So many people want the easy way out, bro. It's hard work. I've been doing this business, bro, since 2008, bro. 2007 is when I started this business.
Mhm.
I started jumping out of the back of a truck selling t-shirts on the streets where I would walk up to anyone. So when I get on my lives and when I get on here, I use this as an opportunity, not just to sell you on something. I don't want anybody to buy anything from me that they don't think will add value into their life. You know what? There is 7.2 billions of beautiful people walking this gracious earth.
Right.
You know what that means? Just because one person don't believe in you, I ain't got to stop my dream right here with you. You talked earlier about somebody dimming your lights. Remember that?
Yeah.
How can someone dim your light that don't pay your electricity bill?
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't worry about who's dimming my light. You don't pay my electricity bill. I like darkness. You know why I like darkness? Because you would never know the light existed if you never seen no darkness.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't mind being broke because I understand that I have a brain and I know how to use my brain and my talents and my gifts to get up out of a broke situation. You know how many people are broke on this live right now and they bank accounts not where they want it to be, but they don't have no clue of how to get up and turn that into money. They don't have no clue of how to turn their talents into money. They don't have no clue. They so scared to even ask somebody to support them. I'm not. I'll sit here and I'll tell you, I'm not going to be financially successful. I'm not going to buy the book a million times myself. I
Mhm.
don't mind asking for people money. Name one person that really wrote a book not to sell it? Whoever wrote a book for you not to read it?
Mm. Yeah, that's great. That's dude, I mean, you're quite an inspiration. I love that. I love the impact you're making in this world. And I wish you nothing but much success and tapping to that energy to get people inspired to appreciate their existence and live out their dream and their purpose. Um, I, I I can't thank you enough for being on the show and contributing to the conversation of purpose and meaning. And again, I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Oh, absolutely, brother. I appreciate your existence. Is that everything? You have any other questions or that was it?
That's all I have. That's all I have, brother.
Okay, man. I appreciate your existence. Let's tap in later.
All right. Take care.
All right.